Hey guys, welcome back to Poseidon, Master of Atlantis. Today we are going to start the next adventure, Enlightenment in the West. With Atlantis safely settled, the thirst for knowledge draws the Atlanteans westward. This adventure is above average in difficulty. It consists of 4 Parent City episodes and 3 Colony episodes. I like this campaign for a lot of reasons, but let's head on to the first mission.
Order please. Will the council please come to order? Diaprepi, stop fighting over the last piece of steak. The cooks will bring out more. With that, Atlon, the High King of Atlantis, called to order the Council of Atlantis, a meeting of the rulers of the 10 Kingdoms of Atlantis. And now a report from Steve Rose, head of the Grand Westward Expedition. A burly, well-tanned fellow stood up and spoke. Crikey, the things I saw west of here will amaze you. I came across a new land filled with astounding animals like ocelots, otters, manatees, and geckos. And the trees, big leafy green trees like mangroves, beechnuts, and mahoganies blanketed the land. And how did I learn about all these animals and plants? From the people. They call themselves Mayans. Ain't they beauties? The council unanimously decided that more exploration of these western lands was needed, and that one of the rulers of Atlantis should personally oversee the voyages. As the leader of the westernmost kingdom, you were chosen to direct the expeditions. Unfortunately, the old capital of your kingdom is not at all suited to support the far-reaching journeys. A new city must be built that will facilitate long trips across the ocean. After all the matters facing the continent of Atlantis were addressed, the council adjourned with a recitation of the Symphonia Ithacos. By the sacred pact forged between Atlanteans and the gods by Atlas himself, all Atlanteans pledged to hold high the values of science and knowledge and renounce warfare and bloodshed, except in self-defense.
Yep, so again we've still got to hold the Symphonia Ithacos. We are going on to the mission Westward Ho, and all you have to do is get some people in townhouse or better, produce some marble and jugs of olive oil, so not too difficult. So basically in this campaign every Parent City mission will be preceded by a colony mission. I think, yes. Yeah, that's right. So let's head to the city. Slow time right down and pause, and let's have a look at the minimap. And this is a huge amount of land, and there's so much here actually, but look at how little farmland there is. There's so little. We will be relying a lot on god temples in this adventure, because that amount of land is not going to handle the amount of cities we're going to need. But let's have a look. We have the city of Otok right here. We're trading with Atlantis, Menissus, and Amphir, which are trading different things now. Atlantis sells olive oil and buys bronze and orichalc. That'll be our main export, of course. Amphir buys wheat and sells oranges, wood, and armor. And Menissus buys wood, black marble, and sells orichalc and sculpture. We're going to need sculpture. Asium and Diapria are new cities. They sell wheat and wine. Asium, that is, buys armor and sculpture. Diapria buys marble, sells fleece and black marble. Fleece has to be imported. You are relied on trade for fleece. You can get everything else though, but you can't do anything else. We've got Ziliuth up here, which doesn't do anything, and Palank over here in basically what is modern day North America and Colombia and all that kind of area down there. So we're going to be trading quite a lot with this area over here. This bit's important. There's a ridiculous amount of marble here. We can trade all this marble away. Basically, how I'm going to play this mission is all of my common blocks are going to be over here. We're just going to have tons and tons of common blocks over here. So all the common blocks here, all the elite blocks here, maybe a couple of extra common blocks here, and we'll have a couple of temples in places. We'll have maybe one down here, one here for food, because we'll be able to get Demeter's one, and that'll be that there. Dionysus will be away over here next to the wine stuff, because they don't need to be in all that. And down here we'll probably have Athena's, just so she's near this. But basically this is going to be a tough mission, and in this mission we can't really go too far, because our land won't accept all, but we can grow wheat nicely here, and we can do olives. So all we need to rely on for trade is basically fleece from Diapria. So they're an important trade partner. We're going to import fleece and sell marble, and Atlantis is going to buy our orichalc, because if you look over here, There's a little bit of orichalc ore just in these corners here, just over here. But it is very far from the key trading area. All of our trade routes are just water trade routes, so it doesn't matter about land. So Atlantis, yeah. It's going to be a bit down here, a bit over here. In terms of, I mean, look at all this coastline. Now you can, if you wanted to, put it over here, but this is way, way too far from where you need to be trading. Basically, this excuse me, this centre bit here is basically your key trading area. You want all trade to happen here and have getting things all over the place to bring it closer. So what we're going to have is we're going to have common blocks all over this side here. This is where we're going to start a common block area. Just literally lines of common blocks all the way up here and maybe a few down here. We're just going to have all common and all elite over here. And there's quite a few trading partners we're going to get over time for colonies. But for now we're just going to rely on simple things. So we're going to sell orichalc and marble. That's our key sellings. We might be able to import bronze. Can we import bronze? No, we can't import bronze just yet. We will get a trade route for bronze later, but not right now. Yeah, it's just masonries and refineries. That's not a bad deal. Okay, so I'm going to go and plan out some housing blocks, because we are going to need to plan them out. And I'll come back in once I've done it, because there's a lot of space. Well, there's a lot of space here. I don't want to use it up. And obviously I'm going to have to set up a bit of a key import-export industry. Because look, we don't have much starting funds this time. So, yep, I'll go and plan it out, and I'll come back in once we've got some housing down. Alright, here we have got our city set up, 2 housing blocks right here, and this is about as many farms as you can fit in on this map, because you're going to want to use this bit of farming area just to grow olive oil. So I've got this bit here, and if you look over here, I have put down the trade post for diapria, and we're going to be selling marble along here. I think that'll reach, and there's a path right through here, so when I want to start importing fleece, I could just have a getting warehouse all the way over here, bringing it closer. Rework the road a little bit, so we've got space to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, just tons of blocks. It's just going to be city centre street. I'm not going to do it parallel. I might, but the thingy that will go here, Demeter's one, might block it in a bit. But we'll see. And you'll notice that you can build the Pillar of Atlas, and I will try to build it in this mission, simply because it helps you for when you come back to Autok after the colony. Because you're going to want him. Right, so, unpause, speed it up. Yes, employees are needed. Where are they coming in from? The north. So they come in from here, exit over here. There are trees here, but no use. There's no point in thingying that. Given where the orichalc is, there's not much of it on this map. And it's in a tiny little corner over here, but there's enough to make tons of it. And I may go into debt quite often, but we're going to just speed this up. Let them come in. This might have to just be for here, and I'll put in another one for going up this bit. But for now, it's okay. 100 people. Just boost the wage rates. No more people want to come in, so we're just going to have to... It's a shame I can't turn off these buildings, but never mind. Once we've made some food, there we go. We made a little bit of food there. Let's just put down a granary. I'll put it there for now, but later I will change it. We can import oranges, but I'm not going to. What we're going to do is we're going to actually put a roadblock there, because we don't want him going up too far and destroying all these buildings. We don't want that. Zillia blossoms. Oh, that's good. So they're now trading with us straight away. We can import 36 urchin from there. That might be something to consider, since we've already got a trade route open with the Oceanids. In fact, let's just do that. I'm going to replace that with Zilliuf just for a little bit. And we're going to import urchin. We're not going to import that much. The amount that they trade with urchin is actually the amount that they sell for, which is not too bad, but we're going to just get urchin and bring it over. Because our farms aren't going to work at full thingy. Yes, you are. So if you choose to worship me, I'll make the stone in your city easier to handle. The city's chorus will more readily give up their marble. Yes. Another thing that the Atlas does is a sort of a similar thing from Pharaoh and Cleopatra. If you install the Cleopatra, know that. in Cleopatra, if you bless the gods, you would get pyramid speed up, or if it was on. With Atlas, it's the same thing, but when you build his actual thingy. Anyway, we're going to just put down the infirmary. We'll just put up the top here like so. Get 2 of them in. Keep them all healthy. We want that. And we're just going to provide access to a food vendor. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this run, and once we've got our housing evolved, both blocks, and we're ready to start delving into some stuff, we'll start getting some urchins over here and all that. So I'll come back in once our housing has stabilised at the next level, which is when they need fleece. Okay, we have some hovels here, which they've all both evolved. I just needed a lot of workers. So now that we're starting to run out of money here considerably, we do not need to trade with Sajuuk anymore because we don't need to import archers. I will be trading with the Oceanus quite heavily when we come back, because the first colony I'm going to pick will allow trade with more Oceanid cities that are going to pop up. If you don't take them, then you just only have Sajuuk, which is not very useful. I would rather you just open up as many trade routes as you can. Anyway, that's that done, so we're just going to delete that. And we are going to put down Diapria's trading post. And we will put down a storehouse just here, which is going to accept just marble. I will run into debt with this, but that's okay. We've got plenty of unemployment to support this, so let's just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do 5 of them. It's an excessive amount, but it's okay. A helping hand from Menissus has 1500 drachmas for going severely into debt. So we've got about 1000 drachma to play with here. We've got plenty of food coming in, which is what we want. So all of my common blocks, for note, all of my common blocks will be fed with wheat. They will get access to tons and tons of wheat, and the wheat will also be necessary for horse ranches later. My elite blocks and any blocks that I build over here will be fed on imported food, so that may be urchins from Oceanid cities or oranges, or just any imports that I can get. Now, I do need to get money going, so what I'm going to do is, since we've got a bit of a labour shortage, I'm going to boost wage rates obviously. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let this run, and I'm going to come back in once we've got some money before we start trying to import fleets, because I don't want to boost the housing up yet until I've got some stable income. So I will let the marble stockpile, then I will sell it, and I'll also at some point set up some orichalc refineries, because Atlas also blesses them, so we want to get that built as well. So I'll come back in once we have got some stable income from marble exports. Oh, that's not too good. Athlon of Atlas needs to send, it requires me to send 8 ingots of orichalc. That's not too good, we don't have money, but we can sell some of this marble now. It doesn't sell for very much, but it's enough to get us going. So let's just put down, where's there, they're going to have to go down here, so 1, 2, 3. We'll just put 3 of them down. That's 1, 2. Just do that. I'll just put down this on the end, and a helping hand from Diapria, that's 1500 drachma. You will rely heavily on these gifts of money for going into debt, so we'll just accept that there. And we'll just boost wage rates like so. Not getting much out of it. Hi Atlas. He comes out as a bunch of rocks basically. So we are selling marble now. I don't think we've sold any yet. So the benefit of this map is that the traders come in way up here. There. So having them away over here means that these will fill up and you'll be able to sell maximum all the time as long as you have everything close. It means that when they go to there, they will buy the maximum each time. So what I'll do is I'll fulfill that request. We're getting some orichalc now. We should be able to fulfill that quite easily. And I'll come back in once we have stable income, which we don't have just yet. Okay, so we're going to now start importing fleece from Diapria. I've also put down this trade post for Atlantis because it will start to make money, because we are going to need money. So as you can see, we're desperately in need of people to come in. And really it's not coming in as well as I'd like, but that's okay. I don't think anyone buys olive oil. Let me just have a quick look around. Right, no one buys olive oil at the moment. I do know that later trade cities, once we go through colonies, will open up trade routes to buy olive oil. They do export it. Making some money, not tons, but we are making some money. I believe these things need a road connection, so yeah. We've imported some fleece, and I have put down a yard just over here, storehouse, to get the fleece, and I won't distribute it until we have a big stockpile. Pardon me. And there's a bit of, I don't understand that square of marble right there, but there's so much marble here, you'll have it, you have basically an infinite supply. So once we get more workers, I'll put down the necessary science building. We're going to put down the lab in both blocks. I'll put that there, because then it just allows me to put space for other things. And we'll just put down an inventor's workshop there. And I will sort of put a dump for all of these, because I will put them over here and have them walk all across the country and all that. So start to sell orichalc. Not yet anyway, but the amount of time it's going to take them to get all the way down here is going to take a while. Now let's see what else Atlas going to do. Oh, a gift of wine from Asium. Don't really need that. He didn't bless anything. Oh, what a shame. We are running out of money here, so I'm just going to let this run. And as soon as we have a bit more money, because we're going to be waiting a while to get money, yeah, I'll just come back in once we've got a bit more money than this, so that we can actually grow this city. I might delete some of these marble cores because we've maxed this out completely. Or I might build Atlas's sanctuary, I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to let this run, and I'm going to come back in once we have more money to continue with the mission. We are starting to get some money. I've put down the palace, put us into the debt, but put down tax collectors. Now, because we don't have so many sources of export, I have increased the tax rate quite a bit. We are on very high taxes, though everyone's paid. I will see how well that does, because I know that in the last campaign of the game, the Two Worlds Collide, I use outrageous taxation on that matter because it's so ridiculous. I haven't got any population monuments just yet, but that's alright. So we are selling little bits of orichalc here and there. Rearrange this road so it goes a bit quicker to get up there, because it's taking a while. Not making as much orichalc as I'd like, but that's okay. We can just put down a couple more refineries and waste it all. And we can at this very point in time just put down a fleece vendor there. So I start to make a bit more money here. As you can see, we're going up into the 3,500 again. And there's our first monument. Let's put down a happiness monument right there. And there's another one. We can just put one straight across that side, like so. Boost up all the housing. So we've got space to deliver 200 people, basically. Yes, you are. And you're in the wrong place, basically. So we're getting rid of this worker shortage, which is good. We're up to 5,000 drachma now, which is good. And our labour shortage is pretty much over. So we've got plenty of wheat. But this wheat, the amount of farms you can put down, only really gives you enough food to support 3,000. So you don't really want to go too high on this map. Now in terms of marble, have we met that goal? We have only made, because we've got that amount in stock. Actually no, it's just to stockpile that amount, so we need to put down another yard anyway. And this is going to accept marble here. We'll just stockpile a lot more marble because we're going to need it for a colony. So all we have to do now is really boost the housing. We're also going to make some olive oil. Unfortunately, the only place to do that is down here. Now what I'm going to do is just... where's the furthest I can put this? Right, so there. So let's just do 1, 2. Just leave a space there. We're going to have a road go along here. Let's do that. Sort of straighten this out a bit. Like so. And we're going to have a... we'll put that there. And we'll have a roadblock there. Because this is where I'm going to have my olive oil produced. And we can put down... 1, 2, 3. 3 of those. It will just cover this whole bit in... That's as much olive oil as you can. Now you could, if you wanted to, import olive oil from Atlantis, but you won't get much out of importation. You'll produce a hell of a lot more by just making it yourself. And if you put down Athena's thing here, then that makes it even better. And I think this space here is going to just be where I'm going to put down Demeter's thingy, because we're going to need Demeter in the time we come back. Now I do want to make sure that we go into the colony mission with quite a bit of income here, so we're not going to just try and rush to the goal. I'm going to at least get some olive oil running anyway. And since we don't have any need for trees, we might as well just delete them, because they're just getting in the way. Now let's just see how far this goes. In fact, I'll just make sure of that. Yeah, he goes all the way to here, but it is quite a long journey he's going. Let's just put olive oil there. And what I will do is, of course, because this is not going to be close enough to some of these distant ones, I will put down a warehouse just here that just gets olive oil. Maybe move that up a bit and put it there. But for now we're doing fine. You will rely on diapria for a while, but later on there will be more trade routes that will allow you to import more. So again, we are making money, and as the population grows I will reduce wage rates to get rid of unemployment. But we'll now start to make the olive oil that's required. So, oh, gift of wine, don't need it. So again, I'm just going to let this run. There's nothing to do now except wait. I need to produce olives first anyway, and I don't think we're going to get any this season. But I need workers, so let's just put down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 olive presses. That should be more than enough. We'll boost wage rates. And I'll come back in once we are ready to evolve our, well, at least get our housing to the next level, and when we've got enough money to continue to the colony. Okay, so in the interest of having something done by the time I come back to Otok, I'm putting down the Pillar of Atlas. It does need sculpture, and you're going to want to import that out of one of 2 cities. You can either get it from Sajuuk. Actually, no. Hang on, is it 2 cities? No, you have to get the sculpture from Menissus. So what I recommend you do is you put down a trade post for Menissus, import the 4 sculptures, put them in a yard, then delete the Menissus trade post and replace it with the one for Amphir, because they're the only one that sells wood. Yeah. I don't understand these such limited amounts of trade routes, but it doesn't matter. We are making plenty of money out of selling sculpture and Oracle to Atlantis and marble to diapria. Not much, but we're getting there, and our houses are now evolved up to the next level. I did put down a yard just here to accept to get the olive oil closer. Just put a bit of a road, and this is going to have a separate guy walking up and down it. We don't have enough workers to satisfy this at the moment, but once Atlas is built, then I can get rid of these and move them somewhere else. Put this down just to provide access to all the required stuff. You're going to need it later anyway, there's no point. So at this point now, it's just a case of waiting. Let's see. 72 marble, there's plenty of that over here. I mean, there's ridiculous amounts of it. 20 wood, we're getting that. We've got the 4 sculptures. So now all I'm going to do is wait until I've got more money. I want to go in with at least 25,000 into the next, the first colony mission. And I want to have this done. So I'm going to let this run. I'll come back in once an Atlas's pillar is done. And you'll get to see it for the very first time in this playthrough. So here we go, the Atlas pillar is almost done. I'm going to delete it in a later mission anyway, because we're going to need the second Otok mission, the one that comes after the call. You need to build 3 minimum required sanctuaries, which are the sanctuaries you have to build, otherwise you can't win the mission, the adventure at all. So they have to be built anyway. And there's the Pillar of Atlas complete. The sanctuary to Atlas, the son of Poseidon, is complete. The great Titan will help stonecutters chisel more marble and will watch over artisans. That's very nice, but I'm just going to delete these things that we don't need. Yeah, we can get rid of Amphir's trade post. We don't need wood. I will need to replace it back anyway, but I'd rather do that when I'm building up the elite housing, which we can do, I think, from the next Otok mission. But we are pretty much done. We have all the people in townhouse that we need, so let's just save. And marvel at our starting of our city. This is going to go and take us westward to North America and South America. We're going to be having a ball of a time out there. But for now, we're just going to leave it in the hands of whoever's going to take over this place. Let's just set aside all that stuff. We've got the money that I want. I want about 25,000 going into this next mission for the colony. So, yeah, that's just done. And we will be in a lot of oil and marble will have disappeared, of course, but that's okay. So you'll want to rely on those exports of marble, and Oracle can possibly boost tax rates as well to get money. You will get more trading options when we come back here, so don't worry. You'll be able to make a hell of a lot more money. Taxation is your goal really here.
With Otok thriving, It is time to strike out and establish a colony in a new land. Who knows what amazing things will be discovered? Plexalre, one of your trusted advisors, has agreed to watch over Autok while you set off on a new adventure.
That wasn't very long at all, even though it was a bit below there. So basically, Plexalre is going to hold on to Autok for us. But take note of this, before you start your journey, remember that the Symphonia Ithacos only affords you protection from the gods as long as you remain on the continent of Atlantis. Atlanteans in other parts of the world are not immune to the attacks by gods and monsters. Yes indeed. So that was the mission Westward Ho, quite literally. And we have established our city of Autok with the minimal resources it provides, and we will be relying on our trading partners quite a bit here. In the next part, we're going to head on to the first of 3 colonies that we get to pick. 4 colonies, I'll explain it later. There's 3 colonies, and we're going to choose a simple one to start with. Thanks for watching this part, I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.